Statement of Criminologists Without Borders. The Commission may wish to further consider, with a view to making its outcomes more relevant, coherent, and solution-oriented, to implement the 2030 Agenda. The urge to action versus the patience to evaluate, building bridges to civil society. Organized crime and corruption are the two most serious problems of the 21st century. They undermine the rule of law, create economic harm, violate human rights, and protect those who commit crimes. Political conflict forces displacement of civilians at record high levels, with struggles that harm, kill, and displace more civilians than ever before. However, interpersonal gang and organized crime violence kill more people globally than does political violence. This situation contributes to irregular migration flows, and many are forced to flee their home countries to avoid victimization. Corruption and organized crime serve as both a driver and a consequence of conflict. But the news is not all bad. The UN Convention Against Transnational Organized Crime was ratified in 2003. It has been adopted by nearly all countries in the world. A second binding agreement is the United Nations Convention Against Corruption in 2005. These conventions involve new crimes, enforcement methods, and international cooperation, a level of global consensus difficult to imagine 25 years ago. But no agreement is self-executing. Evaluation of these new methods is required to determine their effectiveness and cost-benefit. These tools against organized crime and corruption include electronic surveillance, witness protection, use of informants, undercover operations, mutual legal assistance, asset forfeiture, among others. There have been occasional reports about these methods, but no systematic assessment of their effectiveness, costs, and impacts. There is tension between the urge to action versus the patience to evaluate. When assertions are made about what measures best secure the rule of law, justice, and public welfare, we must ask, how do we know this? That is the essential question of evaluation. The public has the right to ask and to know, what is the impact of our investment? But too often, we fail to evaluate the effectiveness of our ideas to know if we're having any real impact on organized crime and corruption. It is time to balance the urge to action with the patience to evaluate, so we can know whether our work is making a real difference that we intend. This statement is a request to make best use of the UN Crime Congress to building bridges to civil society to evaluate the work of the last 20 years. Thank you for your ongoing efforts, making a real difference that we intend.